Namaste everyone, Charlie here from Indiv Yoga, and today we're going to go through Parsva Bakasana, or our side crow pose. So if you haven't watched my first video on arm balances, 3 easy steps to crane or crow pose, then hit the button above and you might want to have a look at that video first. So most importantly, make sure that you've waited a few hours after eating to do these arm balancing poses, because otherwise you can get a really bad cramp or a stitch in your abs. So for Bakasana, some people find it easier because the weight is on both of the arms, but some people find it harder because you're actually higher up and you're going to be falling on your forehead if you do fall. Whereas with side crow, if you fall, it's going to be on the side of your face and you're lower down. So if you haven't mastered Bakasana, don't worry about it. You can still give side crow a go. And we're going to go through the variation of it that makes it a little bit easier to begin with, and then the full expression of the pose. So you are going to need a bit of strength in the wrists, in the arms, and in the core. Although these poses are never about strength as they are so much about balance and getting to know your weight distribution between your butt and your head. So it's much more about balance and about overcoming the fear of being in an arm balance pose. So being able to hold plank pose for a couple of minutes is really good for being able to build up the strength in the wrists and the shoulder girdle and arms, and also in the core muscles, which are going to help you lift up in these arm balance poses and not sink down into the arms. So to get started with our side crow, we need a bit of flexibility in the knees and the hips to be able to come down into a low squat, and a bit of flexibility in the spine so that we can do a twist. And we're going to start with taking our hands together at our chest, twisting round to the right and taking the left elbow, pressing it against the inside of the right knee, and the right elbow is going to press into the side of the right buttock. And from here we're just going to lean forwards and let the hands drop in line with those shoulders. We're going to start leaning forwards and back, just getting used to that weight distribution. And if you want, you can have a cushion. So if you're doing this pose, you'd want to have the cushion about 2 hands worth away from the legs, so that when you come here, if you were to fall, you're just going to fall onto the cushion right there. So we want to be just taking our weight, and we've created a bit of a table with both elbows to support the full lower body, with the buttocks on the right elbow and the legs or the knee on the left elbow. And you can start off with the legs staying bent so that you're a little bit more fetal, might feel a little bit safer, and then you can extend them. We want to always try everything on both sides, because there's always going to be a side that's perhaps a little bit more flexible, feeling a little bit stronger, or perhaps it's just more comfortable to balance on that side today. So let's try the other side. We're going to twist round to the left. We're going to take the right elbow to the inside of the left knee, and the left elbow is going to go to the inside of the left buttock. And then we're going to release the hands and just let them drop wherever they do, in line with those shoulders. And beginning to lean forwards and back, creating that table for the lower body on both elbows. Excuse me, possum. And then extending the legs. Lovely. Remember to always give the wrists a bit of a shake if they're feeling a little bit sore. If they do start to get sore, then stop. Give yourself a couple of days before you carry on with your arm balance practice. Otherwise they can hurt like hell. If they start doing that, I advise running them under very, very cold water or wrapping them up in some ice to allow them to come back down and relax. Okay, let's come into the full expression of our Parsva Bakasana side crow pose. So a couple of ways that you can get into this. If you want to test, make sure that you've got your hands in line with the shoulders. Then you can drop the hands straight on the floor in line. You might need to bend the knees. And then we're going to walk to the outside of the left hand and squat down. Now here we're going to take the weight just on to the left arm. So what's important here is that you don't press the inside or the outside of that right leg into the elbow. You want to make sure that the weight is going onto the upper arm, not destabilizing your elbow joint. And from here we start playing again, taking the head a little bit forwards and letting the feet raise distribution. You want to make sure that you're not looking down. If you look down, the body's going to follow. You want to look forwards and ahead. And then you create that little table with that left elbow and you take the weight onto it. So the right one is free. And trying it on the other side. Setting the hands at the width of the shoulders, pressing the left knee into the upper right arm. And you want to press the knees together and begin creating that table. So the right arm is going to bend and create that table for the legs to rest on. And taking yourself forwards and lifting the legs. And shaking out the wrists, giving it a go, making sure that you allow yourself to relax afterwards. Please click the like button on this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and please do leave me a comment to let me know how you're getting along with your arm balancing practice. And it would really help a lot if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook on the Indiv Yoga pages. I hope you found that helpful. Have a lovely rest of the day and see you for my next video in the arm balancing sequence, which is going to be Bhuja Pindasana. Namaste.